What's up, guys? It's the Self and Tim, and today I'd like to share some little tips and tricks that you can create in your world. When you create it in your world, it will, when you see it, it will remind you you're conscious because you created this. You became conscious that you created it because when you see it, it makes you feel that way. And then you feel that way, you become more conscious. You can consciously create something like that more all around you. And it helps you become more conscious. So what is conscious? Well, when I'm using that phrase, it has a lot of different terms nowadays. When I'm using it in the term that I was saying now, what I mean is generally our conscious is in the mind, actually. That's how I'll say it. Generally, our consciousness, our fullness is in the mind. It's absorbed into the mind. And whatever the mind is, whatever way it was crafted, whatever way the world was, sorry, whatever way the world was when you came on earth, and you started picking that up, is your mind. And we're there consciously often, running around in this little prison. So to first upgrade the awakening, I recommend learning this trick. It's called conscious breathing. I'm acting as if it's a complicated thing that's very simple, because it can be. It doesn't have to be, but it sure can be. When it is when you are having trouble with your focus. When it's not, you'll be focused on your breath and you'll bypass the mind. So, how does that look? And so, as you're breathing, thoughts will start to come up. You have to avoid them. And when they come up, if you do subscribe to it, the moment you notice you're still breathing, and you'll see everything that comes up from a better place after about a minute, 2 minutes. That's a good one. Another one is writing something down on a Post-it note and posting it on your wall. Now, if you want to do this correctly to make the big impact, when you take this Post-it note, you need to first quiet the mind, as I was saying, bypass the mind, and go to somewhere where you feel just a little bit more intelligent, a little bit more conscious, a little bit more tapped in, a little bit less connected to the physical world that we find ourselves in. And then, once you're there, right, okay, then you'll take your pen and you can write something like, God is in my direct experience. And then you can post that on the wall. If you want to advance it even more, you can give a lot of attention with intention. The universe reads your meaning, not the words, not the really nothing other than what your truest, purest intent in anything you do is. So if you want to talk to someone, then what is your intent? What are you trying to intend upon them? A lot of times we don't even intend anything, but what we're doing is playing in the mind, and we are actually intending something, we're just not aware of what we're intending. So when we do that breath, we figure out what our intention is, we write down that intention purely, and then we put it up there. And now what happens is you can go around anywhere in the world, but then you come back here, and you see that note, whoo, whoo, whatever you wrote down has the opportunity to be downloaded back into you. Consciousness, your current state of being that creates everything, when you see this, it will tap your being back into a state similar to be able to continue to consciously create that. And you can consciously create it for long until you forget and you see it again and you're like, okay, let's do it again. So that'd be number 2. 1, bypass the mind. 2, load your environment up. It doesn't have to just be a post-it note. You can come up with some new strategies. Maybe a candle, clean your desk and put a candle, and that reminds you of how amazing it is that this is such a clean environment, right? So anything that will help you clean your environment, so what you see in your environment wakes you more up. It awakens you. Your environment supports your awakening. If you're awakening and you realize that you're creating this mess, then you need to start cleaning it up. If you start cleaning it up, you become more conscious, more centered in yourself. Because when you do what you want, it's easy to be centered. When you're going against the stream of your desires, it's hard to be centered. Okay? So the last tip, the number 3 tip. So we bypass the mind, we manipulate our environment. Then the third thing I'd say would be to become more conscious, would be yoga or stretching or running or working out. But not just doing those. Yoga, it's easier to do, but we want to do it in a certain manner. Before we go to the gym, before we do the action, before we go on our walk, we have to kind of think about our big dreams, our day, our month, kind of the projections, your big dreams. So then once you're aware of those for a moment, then you can stand before you get into your thing. Stand. Bypass the mind again before gym or anything. Put your hands out. And just breathe in those good intentions. Set pure intentions for your day, your immediate practice, exactly what you're about to do. You're setting positive intentions to grow a certain energy. What type of energy? What certain energy is that energy you want to grow during your practice? You want to grow the energy of what you want, your goals. So you can make this current energy transmute to these energies and then become that. So yoga, gym, any personal development, reading a book, you want to tee yourself up for these beautiful intentions, because if you don't, then when you read the book, anything can happen. You have no clue. But if you set the pure intentions of your greatest desires while you read the book, you'll be on the right path, because that's where your vibrational alignment is, right, with your goals. So I'm going to go through it one more time, very simply. 1, bypass the mind. How can we focus only on breath, the quality, take all of the senses you have into your breath. So you're no longer sensing the outside, you're sensing breath. At some point you'll realize, damn, my mind is quiet. Number 2, start changing your environment to support your new discoveries. Because when you quiet your mind, you'll discover things. When you discover these things, you're going to want to change things about your past, especially with the environment. Because with the environment, you have to take action, so it's a good training for this. And things might just be sitting there forever and you never touch them. But finally, you take the action to take that, clean it up, put it away, put this new thing there. Now, you're doing something very conscious, okay? The third thing is a daily manifestation practice, or health practice, or however you are, there's something that you can do. You could do scripting even. Scripting's a really good one. And before you do that, you become clear on your intentions. What are your actual intentions? What do you want the universe to know that you're meaning while you do the action? While you're doing the action, What do you want the universe to think that you're meaning by doing it, and your intensity, right? So that's how you set your intention. You raise the intensity of how bad you want it, right? So the universe is listening, and then you set yourself up to follow the structure that it takes to get it. So that way the universe says, okay, he's intense, and the universe says, okay, he's really putting into action the work, and he's staying congruent and aligned with his actual dream. Step 3, after practice, allow yourself to receive your dreams. Allow yourself to receive your dreams. Allow your subconscious to change. Allow your conscious to change. So that's what I had to share today. Thank you guys so much for listening. Avita Zen. Feel free to comment below any ahas that you guys had. You can write down the three things I shared with you on a notepad or in the comments so you can affirm them better in your brain, bypass the mind, change your environment, cultivate energy. Thank you guys.